Ryan, congratulations on both films. You are absolutely spectacular in both. Let's start with Ides. As a Canadian, how much did you know about the American political system?
Not enough. Not enough.
So what did you do? How did you, where did you start to get to know what's going on there in the back rooms?
You know, I read stuff, I talked to people. A lot of the people I talked to were off the record, so, but I had a lot of help.
And just, did you hang out with people that, spend time with them to just really get to know what's going on? I mean, it's a scary thing when you watch this movie, and I'm sure we see it in Canada too. Or are we just too nice?
I don't really know. What do you think?
I think we're just too nice.
I said that yesterday, and Paul Giamatti really went at me for that. He really thinks that there's a lot of dirty pool being played here in Canada.
Yeah. Well, he spent a lot of time here, so
yeah.
I think maybe he knows.
You think he knows?
He knows what's going on.
He knows a lot of things.
Going to work every day with George Clooney. Highlight for you?
Well, he's such an interesting guy. He's doing so much all the time. You know, he wrote, direct, produced, starred in the film. He's got satellites over Sudan, taking pictures of the border that he's navigating from his cell phone. You know, he's checking the scores on the game. He's got a few practical jokes in the work at all times. He's, you know, he's just very busy, and he's so high functioning, you know, that it's like kind of fascinating to watch somebody like that in action.
Yeah, and do you learn a lot from a guy like that?
Yeah, you learn a lot, you know, but it's also like I don't function at that level, so I don't, you know, it's like not something I can really, you can't keep up. Yeah. You can just kind of.
He's Superman.
He's pretty, he's a pretty Superman. Yeah,
well, you're a pretty Superman too, and I have to say, Drive was really one of my all-time favorites that I've seen. I've seen about 40 films in the last 10 days. So,
holy cow!
Yeah, and it really is spectacular. And I just want to know, your relationship with the director. Like you guys, I spoke to him this morning, and he said you're like brothers. You're like one. Why did you connect so well with him?
I don't know. I just, well, did he tell you about our bad date?
No, please share.
Well, the first time I met him was like a really bad date, where there was no chemistry. It was clearly we weren't gonna get any action. So I just drove him home, and it was like one of those awkward car rides, we're just like driving, no one's talking, and I just put on the radio, and suddenly REO Speedwagon came on, that song, I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. And I was driving, and I heard him crying. And I looked over, he's crying, and then he started singing the song at the top of his lungs. And he said, this is the movie. It's about a guy who drives around listening to music because it's the only way he can feel. And I had secretly been thinking that as well, but that's not in the script. So I thought, well, how is it that me and this person that's wildly different from me are having the same dream? So we share the same dream somehow. I don't know how. And so I think it makes for a good team,
yeah. So did it end with a kiss goodnight then?
No, we just kind of creatively copulated and made a movie baby in my car.
Very quickly, the movie-going experience, I'm doing a feature on it. Why is it so important? Why do you love to see a movie in a theater? Not on your iPad, not on your phone.
Yeah, well, I think that movies can put a spell on you, and I think that that when you're in a theater, you kind of it's like sharing sharing a dream with a bunch of people, And when we made Drive, we specifically made this movie so that you would want to be in the theater to see it. We made it really loud, really, really for the audience. When I first saw Nicolas's film Valhalla Rising, halfway through the movie, the lead character, One Eye, cuts open the stomach of his friend, pulls out his guts, and shows them to him. And the whole audience just flipped out. They started hitting each other, laughing, screaming, getting up and leaving, turning around in their seats. And whether you liked it or not, you were glad you were in a movie theater to see it because you could share it with each other.
Yeah. That's the whole thing. You're so fantastic in both films.
Thank
Best
you.
of luck to you. And I think it's appalling that Nicholas has not seen The Notebook, and I've told him to go out and rent it.
I've told him not to go out and rent it, so.
I've told him to.
Well.
Thank you so much.